The San Francisco 49ers get the W. Oh boy, did we need to get this one. The San Francisco 49ers take down the Seattle Seahawks in a must-win game. The San Francisco 49ers needed to come together and get this W, and that's exactly what they did. We are going to react to it all, what we liked, what we didn't like, all the good stuff after this one. 49ers, up one game in the division. And boy, did they need to get this one. Let me see the W's in the chat. Drop your W's in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's talk about this victory. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right, everyone. How are we feeling in the chat? Are we feeling rejuvenated? Do we feel like that was a good win? We feeling positive about what we saw? Because I really do think at the end of the day, you look at how the San Francisco 49ers played that game, you got a little bit of everything. You had some adversity. You had some highs, you had some lows, you had injuries, you had next man up mentality. You had to start this game without Mooney Ward, which meant Renardo Green had to pretty much start this game and cover DK Metcalf. And I mean, when you really think about what the Seattle Seahawks wide receivers did, you talk about DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you talk about Tyler Lockett. They really didn't do all that much. And, I mean, you had 2 George Kittle touchdowns. You had a Deebo Samuel touchdown. You had a Kyle Juszczyk touchdown. You had Isaac Guerrero coming in, having to fill in for an injured Jordan Mason. I mean, this game had the highs, it had the lows, it had the drama. Boy, oh boy, that one was a nail biter. But let me tell you what, after coming directly from that stadium, after being at Lumen's Field, the energy was phenomenal. I mean, you talk about ebbs and flows. You talk about, listen, when we did our pregame show, and I did keys to victory and things like that, one of the keys to this win was taking that Seattle crowd out of this game early. You had to take this crowd out early because they get really, really loud. And the San Francisco 49ers started it off with a Malik Mustafa interception. And, man, just really quieted. And then they were able to drive down and score. Although they still ran into some of their red zone woes, they were also able to break some of those red zone woes as well. So that's a positive. There's a lot of positives to take away from this game. Again, still wasn't perfect. There's still some things that you need to clean up. Special teams obviously was the one where, boy, that crowd was not in that game until I think it was after halftime, right? You have the return for a touchdown. Man, that crowd turned in a hurry. They were not in that game at all. And that really, really brought them back. And so not only and then they were able to score, get a stop and score pretty quickly after that. So it really tested the 49ers mettle, right? It really tested what this team and what this group was made of. And that's what this game was. This game was a identity game. This game, like we talked about it, we didn't think this was going to be a straight up blowout. We didn't think this was going to be, a game where the 49ers just walk in and just pounce on them. Not at all. We knew this was going to be a dogfight. We expected a dogfight. We wanted a dogfight, and the 49ers won the dogfight. And that is in its genesis of what you are looking for from this team who is trying to figure out who they are, what they need. Now, they're not done yet. But you got to give a huge tip of your cap to the defense. The defense played phenomenally. They really, really did. Geno Smith was so uncomfortable. I can't recall the last time I've seen Geno Smith that uncomfortable in a game. He just looked like he could not get settled. Nick Bosa, I know he didn't produce a ton of sacks or a ton of production, but he was able to get around Geno quite a bit. And, that's what we wanted today. We wanted that. We needed the defensive line to show up. We really did. We talked about it. They needed to show up, and they did. And you had Renardo Green with the interception. Oh, dude, I was so hyped. I had the perfect view. He absolutely just undercut that route, picked off Geno Smith, and boy, was it absolutely a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Not only the rookie stepped up, man. I think Malik Mustafa is going to be good, but Renardo Green, beautiful. Josh, appreciate the super chat, says, I know the offense put up nearly 500 yards, but they look sloppy to me. What do you think? I definitely think there's still a lot to clean up for this offense. Again, it's a good win. It's a good team win. That's what we needed. Yes, the special teams needs to fix some things, but hey, the kicker came in that we've never seen before, made his kicks. They got to clean up the return game and stuff like that. But honestly, at the end of the day, we knew this wasn't going to be a clean one. We knew it was going to be a scrappy claw, punch, grab, kick. This was a dogfight. So we knew that going in. So those weren't necessarily the biggest things that I was necessarily worried about. Obviously, they're going to look at this tape and they're going to see a lot of things that they can improve on and get better at. Offense, defense, and special teams. This team isn't done yet, right? But all week, what did we talk about? At least on this channel. On this channel, the main points of emphasis that I had were soul, was energy, was vibe, was all of those things. It was about trying to turn the page on your identity, trying to turn the page on who you are as a team, as a group of men, as a collective. That's what this was. And so, yes, were there moments when I was stressing? Absolutely. When they started coming back, my PTSD started to pick up. I started sweating. I started saying, oh no. I started starting to pick out my depression memes. Like, hey, I was getting there. I was getting to that point where it was just like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that we're going to potentially find ourselves in another situation where the 49ers give up a commanding lead, but they didn't. And then Renardo Green comes up with that clutch interception. And then you get the score. You get the you get the Guerrero run. It was great, man. It really, really was a huge, huge win. It doesn't mean that the 49ers are where they want to be, but you got to win and you got to play the team that's in front of you. And they did that. And now you have some positive momentum heading in to go play Kansas. So this is why this game was so important to win, and more so to win I think how they won this game was perfect for them. I think it had all the elements. I think it touched on a lot of our concerns. I think it touched on many things. Again, emphasis. Yes, they need to improve on things. I do agree with Josh that they do look a little bit sloppy at times. I do agree that they need to clean it up. I 100% agree with that. But to be able to win sloppy games is also, I think, a skill. Like that means that when your chips are down, your back's against the wall, you can still figure out a way to pull out a win. And that's a big element of this. So very, very proud of how this team bounced back. I'm curious, let me know in the chat, how did you guys feel about Brock Purdy tonight? How did you feel about Brock Purdy tonight? Let me know in the chat. I want to see the chat. Give me your rating of Brock Purdy. How did Brock Purdy play 1 through 10? What was the Brock Purdy rating? What was the BPR today? 1 through 10. Let me see the chat. What are you thinking? Give me the BPR in the chat. 1 through 10. Rate him. Brock Purdy. I see a lot of 8.5s, 8, 9.5. I think that's all fair. I think 8.5 is a good score. I think that indicates, there's still room for him to get better, but still had a great game. So 8.5, I like it, especially after last week. Hey guys, a lot of people jumped ship. A lot of people revealed who they really were on this Brock Purdy journey, right? We found out last week was a litmus test on how you viewed Brock Purdy and what you really felt about Brock Purdy, because all was revealed. When Brock Purdy had a bad game, I don't even call it a bad game, but a lot of people called it a bad game against the Cardinals, and boy, did they let you know how they felt about Brock Purdy. Oh, they did. Oh, we sat back. We were like, okay, all right. I didn't understand it, but I'm like, okay. I watched the tape. I watched the game. Okay, fine. But we're here, and even with all that being said, Brock can still be better. Brock can still improve. But I still see the same thing, man. I still see the same thing. I don't feel nervous with Brock Purdy at quarterback. I look at a quarterback that when the ball's in his hands and you need a play and you have to have it, Brock Purdy's going to give it to you. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited about what he was able to bring to the table. I thought he did well, and really did think that Brock did a pretty solid job. So not a ton of complaints in that department for me. Obviously, the tape will be able to dictate what really went down, and then we'll be able to really see how Brock performed. But still, thought it was a quality game by everyone. George Kittle, 2 touchdowns, good for him. I mean, I thought on the Deebo Samuel touchdown, if we're being honest, it was a better play by Deebo than a better throw. It felt like the throw kind of hung up a little bit, and you had Deebo Samuel make the adjustment to come back and high point the ball, and then he goes crazy, and then scores that 76-yard touchdown. But I think for the most part, Brock was pretty on point, and I really did think the defense played well. So Woo! Chiefs next week. Boy, oh boy. So the 49ers are 3-3. They're able to get one up in the division. Good. I mean, hey, we don't love, like I talked about in the lead up. We don't necessarily love being here, but we love that we had a prove it game this early in the season. I think that's one of the key elements, is that you don't love the 49ers being 2-3, but what I did love is that this was an opportunity for the 49ers to have to show what they were made of early. Really show that you could get these gritty, gutty wins. And they did. They absolutely did. So this is a good win. I feel really good about it. I don't believe that, the tough road is necessarily over. This team is dealing with a lot of injuries. They're going to have to figure some things out. This season isn't going to be an easy season, people. I think it's crystal clear that this season is going to be filled with a lot of adversity. I don't think we're out the weeds yet. Obviously, I mean, but no one cares. No one cares. No one's going to shed a tear for the San Francisco 49ers that they're hurt. No one cares. This is what it's about. Every team in the league is dealing with injuries. You have to overcome. You have to have a next man up mentality, and you have to be prepared, and you got to be ready to go. So no excuses. The 49ers absolutely have some things to figure out in regards to injuries, but we'll get more information about that tomorrow, most likely, when Kyle Shanahan does his call. But boy, we needed that win so bad. That someone said in the chat, roller coaster of a season so far. 100%. That game was a roller coaster. Starting out hot, them storming back, and then having to close it out at the end. Definitely had the blood pumping, and definitely was an exciting finish, and just really glad that the 49ers were able to pull it together. So Fred Warner was asked this. Reporter asked, "Did it feel like you guys were going down the same path that you had in the last two losses?" And Fred Warner said, 1,000%. It sucks, but yes. But that's what I'm most proud of right now. The way we stood up. That's what this team needed. They needed this. They needed to be able to have to face that fear of, oh no, we're going to let another one slip away. They had to, and they closed it out. And that should build confidence. It really should. They should be able to take this win, and they should be able to stack on this. They should be able to build upon this, and they should kind of, again, this was an identity game. Who are you? How bad do you want this? And I feel like the team showed up. They got it done. And they got it done when they needed to the most. And thank goodness. Who was your guys's offensive player of the game? I'm curious. There's a lot of different options on this one, but drop it in the chat. Who was your guys's offensive player of the game? Who particularly stood out to you the most? I think this is going to be a fun one because I think you can pick a bunch of different options on this one. So far, I see Kittle in the chat. I see, the O line. I see Kittle and Purdy. I see Deebo, Kittle. Either Kittle or Deebo. Kittle and Claire. Purdy. Really, Brock Purdy was poised today. Purdy, Deebo, Kittle, Purdy, Pooney, Nick Bosa. We're doing offensive players of the game. Kittle, Purdy played really well. We're not doing defense just yet. Offensive line, Juice and his wife. The kicker deserves some love for sure. The wives had the boys pumped. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Deebo, Kittle and Deebo, Juice. Yeah, dude, that was pretty cool. That was fun to see for sure. That was a good one. Man, what a good win. What a good win, man. You needed that one. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, who is the defensive player of the game? Give me your defensive player of the game. I'm going to throw another one in there because I think we can. I think we have enough options that it will be interesting. Who was the defensive player that stood out to you the most? Who was the defensive player that locked this one up? I see Green, Bosa, a couple Bosas, a Warner, Malik, Bosa, Renardo, Zero Green. Ooh, I kind of like that. Green with the pick, Malik, Fred Warner, cornerbacks in general, Green and Mustafa, Bosa, Green. Got a lot of Green, got a lot of Warner, Bosa with his pressures. Bosa was all over the place, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's pick your poison. I'm super proud of the defense today. I was expecting actually a better performance. I was expecting the defense to give up a little bit more. I mean, you got to credit that 49ers defense, man. They were hugely impactful on this W. Obviously, the 49ers offense put up a ton of stats, but man, this defense kept them in this game. You really have to credit that defense. Yeah, Wishnowski, bro. Wishnowski even had a couple good punts. Defense kept him in the game. You know, the kick return, man. That's their Achilles heel right now. Is kick return. But other than that, man, they played pretty well. You had some good kicks. You had good punts. Other than, again, just the one return, special teams didn't play as horrid as that touchdown makes it seem. But yes, 49ers defense, really, really happy with their performance. I thought they played lights out today. Again, it wasn't perfect in every scenario, but they really kept the 49ers in that game. And all that stuff, dude. So tip your cap, man. Tip your cap to the defense. Tip your cap to the offense. Kyle had his boys ready to play. And this was a big Kyle Shanahan game, man, because if Kyle didn't win this one, it would have been the loudest. It would have been the loudest we would have ever heard the fire Kyle Shanahan movement. So you got to tip your cap to Kyle, man. This was as close to a legacy game as you could get, because again, the dogs were barking. They were ready to go. They were ready to be unleashed and to come down on a firestorm on top of Kyle. No, media and fans, they love a good, firing of a coach, mid-season and all that kind of stuff. So you knew if they lost this one, they would have been coming after him. But it's not over yet. It's not like you're out the weeds. You just bought yourself a week. And now the 49ers go back home and they got the Chiefs. See, if the 49ers can go 3-0 into the bye, oh my goodness. Can you talk about flipping this season? You get the dub against Seattle. You beat the Chiefs. You beat the Cowboys heading into the bye. You get Christian McCaffrey outside the bye, on the other side of the bye. Whoo! So, yeah. I'm happy with this one. I'm glad that the 49ers were able to get the dub and they were able to get away, get out of Seattle. It's always hard to win in Seattle. Seattle plays really well at their home stadium, and but apparently Brock just can't lose there. Brock is undefeated right now when it comes to playing in Seattle. I think he's undefeated against Seattle. I don't think Brock has ever lost to Seattle. Woo! Vishal said long hair Brad for now on during game days. Guys, I told you. I was like, I'm switching it up. I'm switching everything up. I wore my Trent Williams jersey to the Rams game. I said no jersey this time. I said I'm not wearing jersey. And I always wear my hair up. This is the first game I've ever been to where I wear my hair down, and I was like, I'm changing it up. I gotta switch it up. I gotta change the vibes a little bit. I'm gonna let the hair down today, and we're gonna see what happens. So we took red hair. We took red hair, don't care, and we let the locks fly today. And hey, I don't know if that's what it takes. If that's what it takes to let the hair down to get the dub, I will continue to keep the hair down. So we'll see. But had to let the mane out today. We had to let the locks go, let the curls flow. So we'll see. I don't know. Does this mean I got to wear the hair down for Chiefs? I'll be at the Chiefs game, so sounds like I got to wear hair down for the Chiefs. For the Chiefs, we gotta let the flow go. We gotta keep the momentum going. So, all right, chats made up my mind for me. They're saying I gotta rock the flow against Seattle. So let's do it because we need it. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Flowmentum. Oh my gosh. That's the best thing I think I've ever heard in my life. Flowmentum. Oh, put that on a shirt, dude. That's fire. That's fire. I love that. Dude, that's so good. All right, we'll keep the flow going. We'll keep the vibes going against the Chiefs, man. But dude, super happy with this one. Obviously, especially when you travel to a game. Oh, something about traveling to a game and getting the dub is just that much sweeter, that much better. So I'm hyped with this one. I feel great. You should too. And yeah. We got something to build on, folks. We got something to build on. So we got Chiefs next week. Obviously, we'll have a nice mini bye here, the 3 days to prepare for the Chiefs. So that's pretty solid. I love it. I love it. Appreciate everyone as always for tapping in. You guys are the best. Smash that like button if you haven't already. We're going to keep the flow momentum going. You know the vibes. If you got long hair, I want to see it too. What if we just start a movement? Oh, appreciate everyone, man. You guys are the best. Shout out to any of you guys who said what's up today at the stadium. Ran into a couple of you guys, man. Always appreciate the love. You guys are the best. Shout out to the SDS. Shout out to the faithful, man. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do a little something tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see you.